Hello, everybody. It's Willie and Renee again. And we're glad that you're back with us, that you listen. And today is no different. We're going to talk about political stuff today a little tiny bit. Hey, you got to see my shirt. When you see my shirt, it says retired. Yes, yes. He has one. Well, he's not one. He is right now. He didn't want us to be 220. Right now. But yes, yes, yes. And we're retired and talking about basically how even whatever is going on in life, how it affects us as retirees and how to navigate through stuff. Excuse me. I'm having a little bit of throat issues, so pardon me. Okay. But the first part of this, Willie is going to explain to us sort of what we're going to be talking about, and I'll let him um, describe that for us.
We're a little bit interested in the subject of talking about the U.S. Attorney General. The U.S. Attorney General is a position that has been held usually by the top police, I guess you would say the police officer or law enforcement officer of the country. And that person is normally appointed by the President of the United States. Currently, we have Ms. I guess you would call her Secretary Pam Bondi, our Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is our Attorney General. The Attorney General is a person who there's a little bit of cloudiness on who and how she's supposed to represent her position and what what that position or person is supposed to do. At present, as Pam Bondi is the chief law enforcement officer for the United States, but it does appear that her main focus is the president of the United States, not necessarily the people of the United States, which, from my understanding, is who she's supposed to be representing, and that any citizen technically can be represented by the Attorney General in matters that are affecting the U.S. people within the U.S. or the U.S. government.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
Okay, what does that entail? Like, if I got to go to court and I feel like I shouldn't go to court. Sorry, I'm not sleepy. My throat is making me feel like I need to yawn, so I'm not sleepy. So forgive me. If I had to go to court and I feel like it's illegal or something, and the local people don't do it, is that then I would take it to the attorney general? How do you get
No.
to the attorney
The
general?
Attorney General is a person who, through local law enforcement or up through the chain, through the FBI and so forth, they must bring a case against someone to say that a person is doing something illegal. At that point, the Attorney General will take that person to court to.
Yeah. Okay. So what constitutes something that's so great it will go before the attorney general? Like what mine was I felt like I shouldn't be going to court for whatever. They said I did whatever. And it goes up the rank. But it sounds like you're saying that no, it has to be something.
The main thing they focus on is national security, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
When it reaches a level, that type level, that's when the Attorney General will come in. It could be any type of major crimes, and mainly that's what they're going for. Major stuff.
President or
threaten president or representing something against the U.S. government.
So they don't work outside of the U.S. This is governing the U.S. Okay.
Strictly within the United States.
But what if a terrorist came into the United States and tried to do something? Then it would go through the Attorney General.
Then the Attorney General does have the authority to, along with the FBI, to try to squash whatever the case is.
Okay.
And right now, what we have is Ms. Bondi, or Attorney Bondi, it seems that is representing the President of the United States compared to what is best for the people of the United States. As a classic example, as we're looking at now, the case of Jeffrey Epstein.
Mhm.
Usually, everything that would be representing the United States public, it would be, for instance, releasing the files.
Mhm.
But instead, it appears that she's not releasing the files. And with that, most folk believe that that's protecting the president or his teams or what have you, which is contrary to what the position of the attorney general is.
But she has said that they released all the files and last year or sometime that that's what they're going to do, what the president wants, and so she was going to release the files and that she had released all of them, and why is she even being, prosecuted, I mean, brought before, Congress or Senate or whichever one.
Well, it's because people can say they're going to do something,
Mhm.
but when it doesn't happen or
Mhm.
when most folk don't believe that it happened
Mhm.
as it's supposed to be, at that point, you have Congress or perhaps even individuals that are upset or that will be real vocal about something is not being done as the law requires. And at this point, it says that the law requires that the court has said that the attorney general must release all files that
Mhm.
are related to the Epstein case.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, most folks, some folks, don't believe that everything has been released.
Okay. Or it's been redacted if you
Yeah,
want to.
if it has been redacted. And redacted is when they just mark through something so no one can actually read it.
Mhm.
And so the attorney general right now has the authority to redact anything, technically, from the Epstein files or any case that come before the U.S. Attorney Office. Like she can say, well, if there's a RICO case. A RICO case is where they like it's something similar to the mafia is
Mhm.
doing something or gang warfare, something like that. She can take out names so that individuals are not publicized or no one would know who a certain individual or where they are located or what they did and so forth. It's strictly up to the attorney general whether or not anything is released or nothing is released. And that is something that we, most folk, have an issue with.
Okay.
That no one person should have that much authority to be able to just make blanket decisions and think that everyone must live by them when that's going against the Constitution.
Okay. So even as the attorney general, then you're saying that she has people that she should answer to and not just seems like she just answering to Trump.
Right.
Is that what?
Right now, the Attorney General is supposed to answer to the U.S. Congress,
Oh, okay.
even though she's appointed by the president, but she's approved by Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, Congress had the authority to impeach her or anyone else that has been appointed that they have approved
Mm-hmm.
that they don't feel is living up to the job they were required to do so.
Okay.
And because the Attorney General herself has been reprimanded in a sense by a federal judge who says that something is not right with the for instance, we'll say the Epstein case. When the federal judge says stuff like that and actually goes against what the attorney general is saying,
Mm-hmm.
then Congress steps in,
Oh,
and that's when
that's why.
Congress go ahead and do hearings and whatnot.
So that's why they're doing all the
Right.
hearings. Okay.
And as a last resort, Congress, members of Congress, especially the House, can bring anyone up, Ms. Bondi or anyone in the Justice Department that they so choose that was appointed and approved by Congress for impeachment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times we think that the president is the only person that can be impeached,
Right.
but the attorney general can be impeached as well. And what that would mean is that if she, if Congress says they want to impeach her, they would do an investigation to verify whether or not she has been being truthful and honest and doing things to further the cause of the American people or for any individual that they deem is unworthy.
Right.
And at that point, if they deem that she has been doing things contrary to what the Constitution says, then they can, in a sense, have her arrested or at least
Oh, right.
terminated from that position.
Hmm. Well, can I say something too? First of all, I'm learning something because, I didn't know all of that a little bit, but not like you. But um, since I'm the counselor part of it, I always look at stuff through that therapeutic eye. And for me, watching, the times that I have, I feel like that who has her back? Like, um, who is her publicist? Who is telling her what to say and what not to say? Because she is looking just so inept to me and just so out there. And every time she opens up that notebook and flips through and tries to, whoever's talking to her, tries to combat defensively,
Mm-hmm.
saying, well, what about that? You did this, you did that. And first of all, as a prosecutor, right, because that's what she was, an attorney, I was like, well, you don't know how to argue diplomatically? I don't know. But let me give examples is where she's saying, well, you did this and you did that. And the people are saying, well, that's not what we're talking about. Well, that's it. You did this, you did that. And somebody should have her back and say, sis, I'm sorry, no. Attorney General is that is not how to win an argument, first of all, okay? And especially not before learned people like them, her best thing is to just to be on the offense and not so defensive and be able to say, we're working hard on these things. I have you all to answer to, but I also have the public to answer to, all of these others. And so I'm trying to make sure that I do the best job I can, and by me being here all day, every day, it's hard for me to do my job, but that's beside the point. But at least be able to say is I am working for the people. And, you know, you not being in this position, you don't understand all of the ramifications, what the courts or what the public is seeing or the news is seeing. It's so much more in depth than that. And so, while I question if I should even come before, Congress or Senate or whoever, I'm here and I want to be of help. But this is where it is, it's a whole lot that goes into this, into day to day. And I appreciate you all asking me these questions. Some of them I can't even answer right now because I've only been in the position a year, and I'm trying to catch up from things with the Epstein files that have been going on for decades. I can't just do that in a year and do all the other things that's required as well. I know I would, and I'm sure the American public and even Congress, who she's testifying in front of, would have more respect for her position instead of so defensive. You did this, and well, you said that. Well, what about this? And what? And I just feel so sad for her. Like, dude, somebody help her out. Your publicist, your, assistants, if you're feeling up against the gun, you're not going to, if Pam Bondi is listening to me, which I doubt very seriously, sis, you are not going to win that argument that way. Never. You're not going to look smarter and like you belong in that position, being on the defense. I'm a sports addict, so I use sports analogy a lot. Is you never win a game being on the defense. You got to have a plan yourself. You got to be on the offense, and you've got to know how to bring the people together and how to, have a cohesive kind of system. And that system that you had with that notebook going back and forth, I don't know if anybody else has watched, but they're just clowning her on Saturday Night Live and all the other places, and she's the highest attorney in the land. And I hate that they're laughing at her and, teasing and saying that she's dumb, whatever they're saying. And so it behooves me to think that the people that are surrounding her don't think very much of her because they're not helping her. Or maybe she's not listening. I don't know. But she's been an attorney long enough and a prosecutor. And so she knows the prosecutor does not,
Mhm.
it's not called the defense for a reason. It's called the prosecutor. It does all of the heavy lifting. And it's up to the defense to prove otherwise. So use that. You're a prosecutor, act like a prosecutor. Okay, you're not the defense team where you defending. You act like you're on trial, and I'm trying to defend myself like you don't have an attorney, sis, and I'm trying to be prosecutor and defense. No, you don't have to. They ask you to come to court. You're the attorney general. This is my position. This is how I do. This is what this is. And, none of you all have this job. And it's probably a good thing because I'm telling you, I haven't slept in a year and probably won't sleep for another 3 or 4 years because it's a lot of work. You know, what do you what do you think about?
I have to agree with that. The only difference is that she is unfortunate, but for whatever reason, she is very defensive.
Mhm.
And the thing is, some of this stuff, at least, that she says anybody can see through it.
Right.
That,
Yeah.
you're not being transparent, truthful, and you're being trying to be transparent. You're just not being truthful. And that's the thing, when people don't see that truth in what you're doing and they
Right.
know that you're
Right.
not being
Mhm.
100% truthful
Right.
and straightforward,
Mhm.
they tend not to
Right. And
believe.
as the attorney general, you're right. That's a good point. Is that's very easy to say instead of lying. Is I can't even expose the truth. So many things, I can't tell the truth
Yeah, that's what it
about it.
seems like.
Yes, that's just an easy out. Is we're still investigating things. We're still doing this. So I can't expose different things. So instead of lying to you, I'm going to say, I'm going to have to plead the fifth on that, or I'm not going to be able to discuss that because, that's a part of national security, or the system, or we're still investigating. So I can't tell you the truth. I wish I could, and hopefully sooner or later the whole truth will come out. I know I would respect that instead of,
Right.
no, that's not true, sis. We just heard it from whatever, type thing. So thank you for that point.
I agree. We just let that be. Go with that.
Yeah, yeah. So
So you did
all of
good.
you all out there, talk to Sister Pam. She's our attorney general. She's gonna be a, but the way she's going, sis, you gonna have a stroke or something? No. And you all support her. Help her out. So she can be the prosecutor she's supposed to be. That's it
Well,
for me.
this will end it for this part of the discussion.
Mhm.
We ask
Thank
that
you.
you like and share and subscribe to our channel. We thank you for tuning in. We'll talk with you next time.